What are the key takeaways from the AI summit that you attended?
I think the most important, I mean, there are two or three important takeaways. The first and foremost is that I think the mood on AI has shifted. If you look at, this is the third in a series of summits. We started with the Bletchley Park Summit in the UK in November 2023, which was actually called the AI Safety Summit. And everyone was concerned and worried about safety aspects and the security aspects related to AI, and that was the primary focus. Then we went to Seoul for the summit in May of 24, and now in February 25 we've had this summit here in Paris, and it's been titled the AI Action Summit. So to that extent, the emphasis has shifted from the security aspects, from the regulatory aspects, much more to the possibilities of innovation and what AI can do for the economy. I think it's a much more optimistic shift, and there's also this recognition that we really need to harness the power of this new technology. I think that is the first shift. But what it also reflects, and there are two things, and I think that is where India really gets into it. First is that in India's case, this was always our emphasis. We always believed that as far as AI is concerned, it offers an opportunity to innovate. It is probably the one opportunity that India has as a country to actually leapfrog in the development path and move up. Our experience with the way the earlier IT revolution took off in India, and given its role, and we are in Hyderabad, which is one of the centers of that, or the way that we took to mobile technology and what it led to in terms of financial inclusion and so on. In that sense, it's an opportunity which India can actually embrace and move forward. So that was always the notion, and which is why right from the beginning, although many people kept saying you need to legislate on AI and figure out what the risks are, figure out what the dangers are and how are you going to do it and so on, we were always hesitant on rushing into regulation at that point, and we held back and we said, let us study the impact in other places and let's figure out. And some of the things that people are worried about, existing laws are adequate to take care of. And for certain other aspects like privacy and so on, we already have the DPDP Act coming up. So from that perspective, I think in a sense, after 3 summits, the world has come to where India was right in the beginning in terms of a position. And I think that is what proved attractive to a country like France, which actually invited India to be a co-host. And the French are really looking at this as, you know, there are 2 leaders in the AI space. One is the United States and the other is China. And there really needs to be a third way of doing this, and which is where India fits in as a very big example. And India's emphasis has also been on what we would call inclusive AI, because the idea is that you can't, if this is such a path-breaking technology which has the potential to raise many people up the development path, then it really needs to be used to work for the global south, and India needs to lead that push. Whichever way it is, we would be in a leadership position as far as the global south is concerned. And therefore, the emphasis that India also had on inclusive use of AI is something that that found resonance in the summit. So I would thus say there are 3 takeaways. One, that there is a shift to optimism and to innovation. There is an emphasis on inclusion, and there's a recognition that India would be a major player in the third way.